Hey guys, Joe here, and today I'm going to talk some unique Town Hall 9 attacks. I had the opportunity to visit Elite Academy a couple days ago, and I picked up a lot of great attacks, unique attacks that aren't necessarily your Govaho or your Gola loons. These attackers all have lower level heroes, so my focus here is remembering the fact back when I was a Town Hall 9, watching YouTube attacks, and everybody's showing off these level 30 and 40 heroes, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's not going to work for me, and I had to improvise and become a little bit more creative myself. Over here in Elite Academy, these guys are down there rocking lower level heroes in the Town Hall 9 range, but they're still 3-starring their equivalent or just a little bit lower. But they're also adding the addition of back-end loons to help out with the kill squad. Dark Knight here comes in with a Go-Wee-Wee composition. I think it's a stoned golem, 3 golems. And he gets a really wide spread on these golems and wizards to clean up the funneled area that he created with his earthquake spells. And as you see here, he's got a lot of wizards down, brings in his heroes, and I think 3 or 4 witches, which you know how witches tend to trail off, and normally the P.E.K.K.A. would follow as well. In this case here, his max P.E.K.K.A. comes out of his clan castle, and it actually funnels into the center base with the one of the golems. And I believe the Archer Queen here actually follows suit and goes to the core. He rages that P.E.K.K.A. to start cleaning up. The problem with the P.E.K.K.A. on the inside of the core of this base is all the Teslas focused on the core of the base itself, so that P.E.K.K.A. gets wiped out pretty quick in the long run. However, it does assist this queen to clean up the core of the base. But as you pay attention to the north of the base, the couple of golems and wizards are up there with the Barbarian King cleaning up the upper portion of the base. And then here in a few seconds, he's going to start trickling his balloons in from the south to help speed up this raid. And he really uses them in a strategic formation, 2 per defensive unit down in the bottom. And overall, it's assisting this queen, which is stuck up on a wall right there in the core itself, as well as the addition to the kill squad that's followed around the northern or western portion of the base right now. So, really creative here. Not your typical Go-Wee-Wee attack. We normally tend to stay focused to all ground troops when we run that strategy. And the same way when it comes into the next replay where we got a Govaho mixture, if you will. So as we transition to the next attack, Gorilla here actually comes in with your standard, well, what looks like your standard Gova. No Hog Riders here in this strategy. Actually, he has a lot of balloons for the back end portion of this base. He comes in with a Shattered Golem, 2 golems, and his wizards for cleanup and taking out of that clan castle. And then he brings in his Valkyries, jumping them into the core of this base. And then he rages the Valkyries. Level 4 Valkyries are still viable at Town Hall 9. It's just a matter of taking into consideration the HP cut on them, and then also funneling those heroes into the core of the base itself. So as the kill squad itself starts to fizzle out in the center of the base, he starts to trickle in his balloons strategically, 1 or 2 per defensive unit, and then starts cleaning up or assisting what's left of the core to clean up the rest of this base. Not your typical Goho or Govaho strategy. It looks like Gorilla here actually has to compensate for the level of his heroes, which he does very well actually. And the problem with that is that back when I was a Town Hall 9 and a lot of Town Hall 9s now, we get so focused on our defensive upgrades that we tend to avoid or focus more on our heroes when we really actually need them for our war strategies. The heroes actually have a huge play on all the bigger strategies as you get into the anti-3-star bases and the higher you go up. So when you're looking at your base, look at your base in the sense of can you attack yourself? If you can't find a way to 3-star yourself, you probably should slow down on your defensive upgrades and focus more on your heroes at that time, and just dump all your gold into your walls instead of actual defensive upgrades. I mean, granted, the defense helps us when we're farming and trying to protect our loot, But when it comes to your actual war strategies, if your heroes aren't where they need to be at that very point, you could actually be hurting yourself if not assisting your clan very well in your war attacks. Strife comes in here with a composition consisting of golems, hog riders, and balloons. This base had 2 holes in it, revealing the double giant bomb locations, so obviously a very poor defensive layout, showing off exactly where not to go and revealing the Teslas in the process. Strife here uses his balloons to lure the clan castle out here. He also took out a couple of defensive structures in the northern portion of the base, and then he uses the poison spell to take out the clan castle. Then also brings in a couple more giants as meat shields for the balloons, kind of detour those defensive structures. And then also the same in the bottom, brings in a couple of balloons or giants in order to act as meat shield against that enemy queen, while the wizards cleaned up the bottom of that base. As you see here, he starts to trickle in a couple of his hog riders, and he starts to bringing them in up from the south, taking on the rest of the base. Mind you, he's already popped all 4 giant bombs on this base, so there isn't really a lot that he has to worry about other than his spring traps when it comes to his hog riders. And as you see here, they come up through the bottom of the base and basically sweep through the rest of the base as the archer queens down in the south cleaning, and then the barbarian king in the west cleaning on the other side. So also a very unique attack. I haven't seen too many of these G-Ho loons, if you will, but it compensates for the fact that he has lower level heroes. Didn't really need his heroes for the core of the base itself. Very meticulous in pointing out the trap locations and using the poor layout to his advantage. So granted, I'm fully aware that these aren't your typical anti 3-star bases. These aren't your maxed Town Hall 9s. However, for the guys that are transitioning from Town Hall 8 to Town Hall 9, seeing some newer base layouts and how to actually use your heroes when you're still upgrading them, or if you're a seasoned Town Hall 9, you got a really stout defensive base, but your heroes are still sitting down at level 15 to 20. These are a couple ideas to roam over and apply to your war attacks, if you will. So I'm trying to focus on a little bit of everybody and help everybody out in this case. Just thinking back how I was when I was a Town Hall 9 and 10. And hit that like button. Add some comments down below if you have some unique attacks that you're using down in your clans. And subscribe if you haven't done already. I appreciate all people that tap that button. And as always, you take care.